What it do, what it don't, what it is, what it isn't. You already know what this is. This is Once We're Not the Same, magazine dedicated to shit that I'm into. Zian, I'm your host P Fire, aka P the hard way. And please, we don't want to pee the hard way, because you know what that means. Ouch. But anyway, this is another episode of 2 Feet Bare Creps. You already know how we're gonna do it. I ain't gonna waste no time, so let me just get into it. And ooh, drop it like it's hard. Drop it like it's hard. Alright guys, you see what it is. You see the blue of the bluage. You know what I mean? I'll give you a little twirlage. You know what I'm saying? It's a blue box. It says Adidas. I'll show you the top. You see what that says. Spezial. Now I'll give you a little cheeky look at the old demarcation right there. Alright, enough of that guys. You didn't come to see the box because it's just a normal box. So let's get into it and get into it real good. Ooh, one shoe. Ooh, two shoes. Close the box. You know how we do this. Side by side. Quick little twirl to the RJ so you can see what we're about to get into. And then we're going to get into it like we're getting into it. You know what I mean? Yum. Okay. Little twirlage. So guys, today we have this Samba Deco Spzl, and we have it in this beautiful brown featuring white and gum. So it says what it does, what it says on the tin. As always guys, we take the right hand side and we start with that. Let's move that to the side. So guys, let's just have a little close up so you can see. Chocolata. Alright guys, let's start where we always like to start. And where's that guys? Yes, that's right. If you screamed out crop circle, then you screamed out correctly. Let's check this crop circle here. Juicy. Look at that. They've been in our field, and not only were they in our field, they were in our field wearing a fresh pair of Adidas Samba Spezial. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so guys, I'm not going to tell you, I can't remember the last time I had a pair of Sambas. It's donkey, so I'm not going to tell you that this is the same sole as all Spezials. I'm not Spezials, sorry, Sambas, but I think it will be the same sole. I'm going to do a quick check, and then I will put a picture maybe just above there somewhere and confirm whether it is the same sole. Again, I don't claim to be the know-all and be-all of you know, Creps, and as you know, I was more a Nike head. Although I was an Adidas, then I switched to Nike, and you know, as of the I've always worn Adidas anyway. It's just that lately, last few years, you know, I've picked up a couple Spezial bits, you know what I mean, and yeah, so I'm just going from there. So I'm not your guy who knows everything about Adidas Spezial. I've never claimed to be. If you've ever met me in a queue and we've talked about Creps, you know, people will be like, oh, you know, Taylor, for example, shout out my guy Taylor, he'll be like, oh, yeah, what about this pair? And I'm like, yeah, I ain't got a clue, mate. I'm just, I don't know. Tell me more, and then I learn. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's another story for another day when we're telling stories. All right, guys, you've seen the crop circle. I'll show you that again. You know what I mean? Little close up RJ there in that nice gummage. You know what I mean? A bit of Wurzel there, or we can call it, I don't know, nougat. Maybe not nougat. You might say toffee. Yeah, a bit of toffee. You know, or a bit of Wurzel. That's for the gummage, gum sole, guys. Anyway, probably thinking, who the hell is Wurzel gummage? Anyway, let me show you the upper. We have this chocolate brown that is very chocolatey, and as you can see, run your finger across for the suede test. Yes, it gives you the old little differential when you move it across. Sorry, bad angle there. Little differential when you move it across. Little finger test. Pause. Okay, of course you have the un, deux, trois, 3 stripes. This is the brand with the 3 stripes, so you'd expect that. Of course, as you can see right there, you see what it says. It says Samba Spzl, the shortening for Spezial. I don't need to tell you how to teach suck eggs, but if this is your first time, then here you go. Of course, you look at the toe box right there. You got that nice little demarcation right there. Beautiful. It's not quite a T-bar, guys. Remember, if I'm saying stuff wrong, just let me know. But it's not quite a T-bar, but maybe it's a it looks like you know, the Resistance logo in some sort of way. Think your Star Wars. Anyway, I'm waffling. Other side, remedial side as they call it, same thing. Un, deux, trois, 3 stripes. You get me, in that resplendent white, and of course moving around, it's all suede, brown suede all the way. If you go to the heel, of course you've got that nice white heel tab right there. Okay, you've got these chocolate brown laces, which are more or less identical in color as the shoe. Maybe a little bit darker, you might say, a little bit darker, but almost identical as the shoe. So now let's look at the tongue. The tongue is in this resplendent soft suede like the shoe is, and of course you've got that black Adidas trefoil, sorry, white trefoil on a black background right there, and that background is, it's woven, so it's a woven label on right there, and as you can see, got your little wording right there. This is made in Vietnam, as you can see, so not made in Italy, Germany, France, or, you know, I don't know if they ever did made in Italy, Adidas. I know France, of course, Germany, well, that goes without saying, but yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, so if you look in there, you've got a number. You know, going back to Liam's, that demarked his birthday, or highlighted his birthday. I'm not sure what that number is. It might be someone's birthday. I'll read it out. It was the 4th of the 10th. What? It says 04-100 717. So I don't even know if that's a birthday anymore, because there's too many numbers. Oh no, unless, you know what, sometimes I'm thick. Let me think. 07, what are we, 23? Oh, 24. Okay, maybe his 17th birthday. So 4th of the 10th, 07, and maybe they turned 17, something like that. Anyway, footbed, as you can see, Spezial, nice in that black with the gold sticker right there, and of course the white writing in there. Let's go to the other pair. Equilibrium certain beautiful things, so of course they match up, no differential there. You know, super dope. Of course the differential comes when you look at the heel tab. Look at that booty right there, you see that. Of course you have that trefoil on a white background, and then you've got the Spezial trefoil. There's a name for that. I heard someone say that the other day, and I was like, oh, that's a real cool name. I think it was actually Sneaker Annex when I was watching his video. He called it something. I need to do my homework. If I can be bothered, I'll put it up here, but if not, then yeah, I guess I'll say it next time. Anyway, question guys, is there anything more beautiful than seeing a black trefoil on a white background? I think it's even more sexy than a white trefoil on a black background. I just think that looks beautiful. Anyway, you see the booty, stare at the booty. Of course you have your little literature right there, you know what I'm saying, nothing too exotic, just telling you sizing, and you know that it's Adidas and it's UK and blah blah blah. It's all of that good stuff. Yeah, you have a spare pair of white laces. I'd probably keep the brown in personally, just because I like that sort of one piece kind of look, one feel, one piece is in one color, do you know what I mean, kind of look. And then I like the pop of the white, but I think if I put the white in, it might give it too much pop, and I kind of want a brown shoe rather than a white and brown shoe, if that makes sense. I think if I put the white laces in, it becomes a white and brown shoe, whereas now it's a brown shoe with white hints. You know, I might be chatting shit, but that's what I feel. What else am I missing before we call this a dizzy? Let's just check the tongues are the same. They're not the same. Oops, see, that's why it's always good to take a look. As you can see, the secondary tongue, you've got that the Spezial logo there, and then you've got the trefoil right there, as you can see. Whereas this one, you have the Spezial, I'm sorry, the trefoil and the mark of the free. The mark of the free, the brand with the 3 stripes, you got that right there, you know what I mean. Mark Mutdenschen. Yeah, I won't ever do that again, I promise. Let me just, of course, you've got the lace bed right there, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lace holes for you there. I saw Sneaker Annex, and he mentioned something that there's a slight difference here, that maybe you had 2 holes normally on your Sambas. Again, feel free to comment down below. I'm going to Google some pictures of the old Samba Ridge, and then yeah, I'll educate myself some more. But other than that, guys, there's nothing really much. You've got paper inside the shoe, as you always do. I went for this pair because yeah, I really like the color. I actually picked up the black with the green stripes. I got them to go get them for me. I had them in hand and I was like, nice, but these browns are really speaking to my soul, and I don't have much brown, so I thought, you know what, go for a brown, go for something you need. I say need, that's a lie, something you want, and you know, you'll always be okay. And I don't really have much brown, so this will be a good addition to the old collection. But yeah, guys, a beautiful pair from the Spezial range. Yeah, really nice selection this autumn winter, I can't lie. Some really good pieces. I want the t-shirt, the Spezial white t-shirt, really nice, simple, effective, just really nice and plain. It's about 50 quid, nothing too crazy. So yeah, some of these might go in sale. You never know, you know how it is. Some sit in sale, some don't. But yeah, it's a nice pair. I just wanted to grab them and, you know, do a quick review for you lot. And yeah, let me know your thoughts, comment, please like, subscribe, share. Check out my video for the launch of Spezial that I went down. They wouldn't let me film in, but you know, I got a few people coming out and spoke to them and showed a few pairs of shoes. You know, I want to be doing more of those things, as you know. But anyway, guys, this has been another episode of 2 Feet Bare Creps. I've been your host, P Fire, aka P is for Patina, and this has been Once. We Are Not Saying, magazine dedicated to shit that I'm into the end. Guys, stay dope, stay fly. I appreciate all your support as always. New supporters, old supporters, current supporters. Come on, let's get it. You know what I mean? Love, light, and laughter. Stay dope, gang. Peace.